Get ready if you are a pixel art game lover. Even nowadays, we have so many games with high graphic coming up on mobile, but most of the players still fall in love with pixel art game style, especially in RPG or MMORPG style. That's why in this video you will get the high graphic pixel art games on mobile. Please like this video, thanks. Top 11 Best High Graphic Pixel Art Games RPG and MMORPG Games Pixel Art for Android iOS. Wizard of Legend. Wizard of Legend is the best RPG pixel art game on mobile now. This game is finally come up to mobile. After the game successfully released on Nintendo Switch, the developer ported this game to Android and iOS. That's why the game quality is really good for a pixel art RPG style. The artwork is super detailed, especially the skill showcase is unbelievably amazing. We can summon a Dragon Fire Punch, Lightning Strike, Crystal Blizzard, which our character is rich in elements power. We can do some action like basic attack, dash, do a signature skill and pick the selection of the skill. Try to change your clock and it will increase some status point like strength, max HP or run speed. Artifact system, relic system or equipment is one of the most important things to be focusing on. It will grant your status significantly. The combat battle of Wizard of Legend pixel art action RPG is all of the skill will not consume any stamina, just a cooldown time. Every time we hit the enemy, then the gauge bar will fill up into the max to turn yourself into trigger mode and will significantly increase your speed and power. Best high graphic pixel art game action RPG games for Android iOS. Heroes Under the Mana Tree. Heroes Under the Mana Tree or Yggdrasil Champions. I was looking for a pixel art game that can stand beside Xenonia and Inosia series, and finally we will have Yggdrasil Champions as the next level of action RPG games with beautiful graphic. The gameplay is a fully story-driven game with an open world. We will get a new partner or ally one by one through the journey. Each character will have a different classes and weapons such as archer, bow, warrior, sword, berserker, broadsword, and magician staff. Those characters will have a different elements of fire or blizzard and light. The game starts with two main hero selections of man and female, but then I was shocked. It has a Genshin Impact appearance design. It's totally cool. The combat battle of Yggdrasil Champion is we are able to switch the hero in combat and unleash their skill continuously when the skill is ready. Dashing to prevent the attack is freely used. While exploring the world, try to scan and checking around you to get a hidden treasure chest. This game has the best graphic pixel art RPG games with a single player story-based game for Android iOS. Rasberry. Rasberry. This is the best roguelike pixel art RPG games on mobile that are playable in a small size and lower phone spec. The graphic enhance pretty well with a great light glare and shadow. The game has a simple story of the main character wanting to get a revenge and be helped by the evil to earn a powerful strength. The gameplay of Rasberry is we can get a various weapon by opening the treasure chest. If you are lucky enough, you will get a legendary great weapon that has a 10% chance rate. There are so many enemies in the dungeons. Luckily, we can use a dodge roll to avoid the incoming attack by the enemy. Switching your weapon between primary and the secondary weapon is possible and it's all changeable. The combat battle is really satisfying, fast and really easy to control. The attack will automatically launch when our finger is off the screen. We just need to focus on the dodge button and switching the weapon. The best graphic pixel art game RPG for Android iOS. Astertataricus. Astertataricus is 2.5D pixel art graphic games in a strategy tactical gameplay, but it has a combination between two dimensions of 2.5D pixel art only when we move the characters and make a strategy, but then in combat, the characters will change into 3D. But seriously, the pixel art style is really remind me of a Triangle strategy visual. I thought this game would become the first pioneer of the next gen pixel art game level that all of the mobile games developer should do in the future. Astertataricus has a semi-open world gameplay with a tactical RPG games. The game has a really good combat battle. The battle mechanism is really easy to understand. We only need to move the characters and lock the enemy as we want it by a skill or a basic attack. This game is only available in a certain region and not global release yet. In fact, I love that it has a voiceover of Japanese. Best next-gen pixel art RPG games for mobile. LatelM. LatelM. This is a new pixel art game with a high graphic visual in a side-scrolling game perspective. The game genre is MMORPG game. We can chat in a message with another online player and go to the forest or desert to hunt together. I really love that it has a various job selections, which are warrior, knight, wizard, and explorer. You can pick female or male and customize the appearance before entering the world. We will pass through the village and city and get into the dungeon to kill the monster. There are so many monsters there, so we can grind the EXP faster. Moreover, the monster will appear in a close distance. While you are in the city, you will get a beautiful view of the panorama background. We can jump to the rooftop and interact with the NPC there. The best MMORPG pixel art game with best graphic for Android iOS. Nightingale. Yes, this game is one of my most anticipated game pixel art 2.5D on mobile. It has a great storyline and visual, especially the cloud will move in a realistic experience that caused a shadow, such a great attention to detail. The combat battle is a classic turn-based RPG, so we can cast a skill by consuming a SP point. There are two main characters as the protagonists to start the journey, with a healing power and damage dealer. It's a pretty good team combination to start your game in combat. I was really impressed by what the village looked like. Suddenly, it reminded me of an Octopath Traveler. Even this game was made by a smaller game developer than Square Enix, but I'm really happy to see the achievement it has. This best pixel art game has a story-driven game base. That's why you will find a lot of cutscenes and conversation to explain about the story and the situation. Best game mobile pixel art now. Destiny Saga. This game is on my top list of pixel art RPG games on mobile. I'm pretty sure the graphic can compete with Switch, PC, console level in a pixel art style game genre. Look at how detailed and impressive the combat and the area is it. It has a semi-open world game pixel art game. So when we get into the dungeon, it has a wider area and lets the player to get so many obstacles, treasure chests, puzzle that we need to solve, and the monster will appear in so many numbers. We can slay them all by switching to the other characters, break the enemy's barrier with our shield and kill the monster easier. But watch out when you face the boss. It has unpredictable movement. Honestly, I get a great experience playing it. It has a balanced combination between the storyline and action RPG games. Destiny Saga is the best high graphic pixel art games for Android iOS. Last Claudia. I remember this game came first on mobile with a high-level pixel art visual. That's why Claudia got a high chance of making a collaboration with so many different games RPGs. Seriously, the first impression I got when playing this game is, I totally feel like playing a RPG made by Square Enix. The character design is unbelievable cool. With a young man equip a huge sword and swing it to the enemy is really satisfying. In fact, the game has a portrait mode so the player can enjoy the game much easier with one-handed. Clicking the auto mode to let the game be done by itself is a great way to relax your eyes. This game has a story base with an action hack and slash. We can unleash the ultimate skill and get a special effect. Best graphic pixel art games for Android iOS. Otherworld Legend. If you don't have any internet connection and small size, then this pixel art game would be great help you to kill your time. You can obtain many different characters in the lobby and try them out before you buy them. The gameplay is super fast, even sometimes you will not see her punch and kick. The number of the monsters that appear is unbelievable, but our strike will give an area of effect damage, so we all can slay them on the enemies in just one combo. In a certain spot, you will see a shop and you need some in-game gold to spend the skill or items. Be wise on picking the right items because it will determine how you will destroy the enemy at once and your combat fighting style. Best action RPG pixel art games for Android iOS. Dead Cells. Dead Cells. This game is one of the best pixel art games that got the most reward and achievements. Seriously, this game has a hardcore and challenging gameplay. Especially, all of the enemy has a high level difficulty, and we cannot just slash the enemy with our sword, but we must find his weakness to be able killing the enemy and must remember his characteristic movement. The player is able to buy different items, but the price is crazy high. We really need to kill each of the enemies we face to gain the gold. We don't need to focus on the storyline because the game mechanism has a high intensity of action RPG. There are main and secondary weapons we can use in combat and changeable anytime. The gameplay is super smooth. I really love the effect of each action we do, like destroying the door, killing the enemy, and many more. Best action RPG games pixel art for Android iOS. Sword of Confalaria. Sword of Confalaria. This game is unbelievable. I'm really addicted to the graphic. It reminds me of the glory era of JRPG games, especially in pixel art RPG games. This is the best tactical RPG on mobile now, and more than a million players are waiting for it to release into global and available in English version. The game has a beautiful music instrument in each situation and absolutely matched perfectly. The gameplay of Sword of Confalaria is, before we strike the enemy, we can see the hold point left after we hit the enemy, so strategy is the most important before you finish your turn. Try many kinds of plans to get the best results. The developer has confirmed if this game will give the player a great experience through the story-driven. The best RPG pixel art high graphic games for Android iOS.